welcome back to the Jahmad Show, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to another great episode. As always, man, before we get right into it, man, make sure you go follow the Instagram. I've been getting some. It's good. It's good that we actually are talking about this. As you can see, do-rag on in the flesh. I am straight up out the bed, low-key. And getting right to it. But anyways, like, comment, share, subscribe, man. We got another good one for you today. Before we jump into that, though, if you did not catch the show yesterday, I featured Dr. Orion Terrabin, as far as his clips are concerned. One day, maybe we'll actually get him on the show. But he discussed some really, really interesting topics, and it talked about the 5 end games, basically, of the way things will end with women as far as seeking relationships. And I took a few snippets out of that and posted on my social media. And you would think in 2025, people would say, oh, that's intriguing. Let me go look at the entire show to gain the full context. But we live in the real world, right? Expectations is basically null and void. So it was pointless for me to think that people would think this way. So, yeah, of course it got some flack, and it's going to rub people the wrong way, especially when you're getting my reaction to it, and they feel like because of all the quote-unquote, which I just learned, red pill, whole God thing. Listen, I don't subscribe to none of that. I love having information for both sides, and especially me being a man, I think it's much suited that men like myself, men alike, should educate themselves on this dating space, because for so many years, we've all been guessing. We didn't know. For so many years, there used to be a saying about men don't understand women and women don't understand men. And I think those lines are no longer so far apart. I think men actually really do understand women these days very well. And I think women understand men very well as well. So I think now that we understand each other, the differences are obvious. And hopefully within this generation or the next generation, we can get some things corrected to where maybe we can bring the true essence of what relationships is back. And that's the whole goal about this. But we do live in today's society. So yeah, there's going to be things that we've made, decisions we've made that may not be, that may be frowned upon a bit, right? Men and women alike. So the point of this podcast and the message is to ultimately actually help people. But in order to help people, you got to ruffle some feathers, because you have to give them reality. And what do we know about reality and truth? Sometimes it can hurt. Hence the name of the show, Harsh Truth. It's the truth of the world. It ain't my truth. It's our truth. It's our society. And the more that we talk about these topics and the more that we discuss these things, the blinder comes off for men and women. And I think ultimately this honestly kind of really starts with men, if I'm being very transparent. If we can start putting men in a better position from a mental standpoint, financial standpoint, understanding what women really want, I think that's going to give ultimately women better options to choose from as well. So I think it's a win-win. The more and more we come to the realization of where we are at the state of dating today and what we can do to correct it moving forward. That's the whole goal. But the reality of it is we still got to talk about what's going on today. So, of course, I got another great video. And I saw this clip online, so I looked it up and ended up finding this clip. And it literally is almost mirroring exactly what Dr. Orion said in the last video. The difference is it's wrapped in the package of a woman, which makes it even more interesting. So this is Lisa Bilyeu, hopefully I'm not mistaken her name. I don't know the name of the guest. So if y'all know the name of the guest, Kendra G. That's my bad. I see it right there. Kendra G. Never heard of her. I might have seen her on some podcasts maybe, but obviously she's made it to a platform. So, and from what I've seen, the woman knows what she's talking about, and she's right in a lot of points. So I want to bring it up. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's see if I can get this in here. And let's see what she got to say.
So what do you wish women knew about men and dating that would save us so much heartache?
I think there's a disconnect on how women approach relationships and what they think they deserve, opposed to the man that they're asking for and what he wants.
I'll say my thought. Let's see what she said first.
Whether you agree with it or not, they're actually telling you they want somebody that's going to cooperate with them. They want someone that's going to fall in line. They want submissive. They want fit. They want feminine. They're like, listen, fall in line to my plan. I don't have time to argue with you. And that's that. Do you want this position or not? But that doesn't represent every man.
And it does not. And she's right about that. And here's the thing. When she's referencing the type of man that she's talking about, the type of man that a lot of women prefer, right? This is the ideal guy. And what you got to understand is that ideal guy has a plethora of options. So you're in a competition with a lot of women that you don't know you're in competition with. And that's why he ain't going for it. And you think it's just all men or all that he. But the reality of it is, why would a man that has that many options, why would a woman that had that many options settle for the least option? Just flip it around. If you were a woman, you had access to all the type of men that you actually want. You're going to go for the top dollar man. You're going to go for the top man that is going to be the most suitable for your situation. Correct? So what's wrong with a man doing the same thing?
Right? Because there are some men who truly want a woman that's a teammate. They value her opinion. They know the importance of having a woman that can speak her mind. So what's happening?
Let me break that down, what she means. They know the importance. They know the importance of a woman that can speak their mind for them. They know the importance for them. This is where this becomes not so much general and definitely more tailor-made, because not all men are in that top percentile. Not all men have access to that many women. And that is also the harsh reality about men that we have to understand, fellas. And this is all going back to settling. And that's basically what she's getting to the point. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because I put a clip up on my Instagram referencing the same exact thing from two different sources. A man is one, he's a doctor, and I'm not sure what Kendra G's position is, but she's a woman. She may be a doctor as well, I don't know. My point is, you have a black woman and a white man saying the same exact thing. Let's continue.
Is when a man that you want tells you what's important to him, you get upset. But you have two decisions. You can either A, keep it moving, because that's not who you are, or B, conform to keep the man.
Exactly. That's it. It's not rocket science. And I have this conversation, unfortunately, too many times where it's brought up that, hey, I tell women, look, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm at, and this is how I operate. Too many times, women want their dream relationship or their ideal relationship to be my dream and my ideal relationship. And I'm like, yo, that's not me. I don't operate within those terms, and I won't. And that's okay. It's cool to go our separate ways. Shout out to a chick named Remy, who I met briefly, and very intelligent, very smart, in that 40 range. Beautiful woman though, no kids. But here's the caveat. What she don't know is, and she did know. I told her, I said, look, I would actually pursue you, contrary to belief and what some people may think about this content. I said I would actually pursue you, but what I think her age, meaning experience, led her to believe is from the men that she dated and what she had accomplished in life, because she was a successful woman. She wanted to have a man fit within her window, i.e. exactly the example that I talked about in the last show. I know this from experience. I don't know Dr. Orion Taraban personally. Why is it that your experience, what you're saying, mirrors exactly what I experienced, which tells me a lot of men also experience the same thing. Nonetheless, you have to find somebody that is willing to share your dream, because that is important to them. Let's continue.
People are having a hard time accepting the reality of the person that they want and what they want back. I could teach a third grader how to date. Is a little boy bothering you? He likes you. Is he not bothering you? He doesn't like you. It's literally that simple. The same rules apply, but what changed is the internet. Now we're on a social media stage. So a lot of women want the same guy.
That's the other problem. And I want to dive into that to a different in a different show. Let me resize this image here so you can see her in this other end. That's cutting her off a little bit. I want to talk about that in a different show because the idea of relationships, I'm gonna briefly touch on it real quick before we dive into the rest of this. The idea of relationships, if you think about the relationship with your mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, homegirl, whatever, homeboy, each one of these relationships are unique and independent of every other relationship. Meaning, the relationship that you have with your mom is not going to be the relationship that you have with your homegirl. Or the relationship you have with your father is not going to be the relationship you have with your homeboy, your cousin, or whatever. It's going to be different dynamics in each relationship. Each one of those relationships happen organically. Nobody's showing up expecting this is what I need from you if you're going to be my best friend, if you're going to be my cousin, if you're going to be my brother, this is what I expect from you. It just happens. You either have a great relationship or you don't. But most of the time in those great curated or great organic relationships, I should say, they happen naturally and they're unique. When it comes to dating, it's like that part gets thrown out the window and all these women and men alike want the same type of thing. And that's not unique at all. It's cookie cutter. And as individual as we are, how could you fit every person into a cookie cutter box? Just think about that for a minute. Anyways, let's continue.
What they're feeling to accept is this guy that you want that might be successful, attractive, has money. He has the world because now he has a phone. Now men can get a woman without her even being a girlfriend, get wifely privileges, a baby, her showing up for him emotionally, her being there when he wants her to be there, all because she wants him so desperately so.
100%. And these type of men typically had to work to get to that point, which is why they're so reluctant on letting it go. That's why. I just saw an interview recently with Jeezy on the Breakfast Club, kind of talking about briefly, vaguely, about his marriage and his divorce with Jeannie Mae or Jeannie Mai, however you pronounce her last name. And he was like, look, I just love my peace. He ain't downplayer, none of that. He said, look, I just love my peace. And they asked him, hey, would you get married again? He said, I love my freedom. You know what I mean? It's something about when a man gets to a certain point in life where, once again, you don't realize, a lot of men don't realize when you get married, unless you're in that top 1%, and even then, it's still not 100%. But if you're in that top 1% and she fell in line, then you probably good. Like she was like, okay, I'm doing whatever you want to do. When I say fall in line, because they be taking everything I say out of context now. She doing whatever you want to do. She's like, look, cook, clean, whatever. Like Cam Newton, girl, that's what it looks like to me. I don't know they in a personal relationship, but that's what it looks like. That's somebody he got like, hey, this my ship, she said, and I'm sailing with you. Perfect. This gonna work, cool. And I'm not talking about the lower tier. I'm talking about that middle of the road.
And because he's not seeking potentially marriage, it's like, okay, if you don't want to be here, there's 10,000 other girls who want to be. And now
Exactly what I just said. Why would I give that up? I'm happy here.
Game has gotten reversed, and I really feel like women have lost their control or the power in dating. But you can get it back, but you have to be okay to bet it all. And
I wonder what she mean by that.
what I say by that is you only can date healthy to me if you're okay with being single. Because
I agree with that. I agree. And I feel like a lot of women are not okay being single. I know women right now, they always are dealing with something. If they jump out of one situationship or relationship, they right back underneath somebody else. It's like, wait, hey, you can't just be cool being you. Like, to me, going back to what I said about learning yourself, and having relationships be unique, that's internal. Because how can you know what uniquely fits you if you don't know you? Because your model of a relationship is like 90% of the model of everybody else's relationship. That don't make no sense to me.
If this doesn't feel good to me, I'm gonna leave because it doesn't feel good to me. Doesn't mean you're gonna walk out the door and find a better man. You may or you may not, but what you know for sure is you have yourself and you feel good with yourself. Now, to me, that's where we have to get back to, knowing your worth without a man.
Correct, and I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Once again, not just knowing your worth, but knowing yourself. Knowing yourself.
I don't know where the hell we got to this place where your worth is based on a guy's preference. It is not. It's a lie.
Very good point. And it's not. It's just not worthy to that man, right? So like a woman would come to me, has come to me, full transparency, with with doing certain things, usually forcefully, which is a red flag for me, right? You trying to force a relationship on me. You trying to force this situation. This ain't that. We good. Just let me run through. Let me pursue you. If I feel like that's where it's going, that's how I'm gonna move. Anytime you try to force, and men can feel this. So this is a tidbit for the ladies. Don't force a relationship or force anything on a man. That's the easiest way for him to back off. If you want him, you let him know you want him, but you ain't gotta blow him up. He say he gonna call you, let him call you. You ain't gotta text him all day, every day. That's because once again, you're setting yourself up to be like, nah, I'm cool. You ain't standing on what you said you was really like. Your actions speak way louder than your words. Let your actions speak for you.
I don't care if you're 40 pounds overweight. I don't care if you got 3 kids by 3 men. You are worthy, okay? Your worth is not tied to a man's preference. But now, a man might have a preference, and you might not be his preference.
And that's okay. And that's okay. That's okay. Now, she's going to get into, though, the truth of the reality of this. Here's the part that you're going to have to digest. I'm going to let her say it. But there's a caveat, there's a catch. But it's the truth.
But that is okay. On my dating show, men call me and they say, oh, I want a girl who doesn't wear makeup, who don't wear wigs. I'd be like, okay, what else you want? It does not affect, I'm never upset. I'm not offended because guess what? He has the right to his preference. And 9 times out of 10, I don't want him either, right? So we have a match in being unmatched. So I can listen to his preference and not feel insecure because I know who I am.
Exactly.
Now, if you are a woman who's insecure, you're going to be offended.
I think
100%. And I think that's something to be tapped into because there's a level of a lack of accountability. And this has been a topic, and it is what it is. Once again, this is what I've learned, and I'm going to tap on this too. What I've learned is anytime I say, or not even just me, men, some men are bashful. I don't agree with that, okay? I'm not on the side of being agreeable with tearing down women. I absolutely love women. But when you have these tough conversations, women are emotionally built, so y'all spaz the hell out. I'm talking from a practical standpoint, and it seems like so are these women right here. They're handling themselves, and they're going to bring up facts. They're going to talk facts. And this is what I'm saying. Don't take it from just men. These are women that's trying to tell you, like, look, you can have what you want, but you need to be realistic about trying to get it. On the flip side, fellas, you need to be realistic about where you stand in this space as well. Because when you are not, that's where the disappointment leads. And that's why a lot of relationships, even though people are still getting in relationships, getting married, so on and so forth, that's why there's a boom in therapy, couples therapy, and divorce. It's because people are still going off their own understanding. And if you're a believer, you know that that's a verse in the Bible. I think it's Psalms 3, 5, 6. Literally. Love God with all, I don't want to misquote it, but lean not on your own understanding. I want to say it's like love God with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Listen, you need to do your research. You need to understand how this dating thing works. Otherwise, you're going to price yourself out the market. I call it the game. So do these therapists. So do these psychologists. Listen, it's the game of life. And if you don't know the rules, you're going to get outplayed.
Sometimes what ends up happening is you build your self-worth and you meet somebody that you are attracted to or you have a connection with.
Right.
And over time, slowly, the thing that they need, you start to negotiate. You start to give in a little.
Yes.
After a day like the
We're going to have to pass by this ad. Y'all know I don't do these ads, man. Hey, if you don't know, you know now. We're going to bypass the ad. Hey, they're not giving me no money. As soon as I can find my mouse. Here we go. Yeah, let's get this ad up off of here. And then we will continue. I don't want to hear this ad either. What y'all think so far? If y'all down in the comments, man, leave some comments. What are you thinking so far about Kendra G speaking on this relationship topic about knowing your worth as a woman? We about to get right back into it. Let me bring her back in. Y'all, this is my second time doing this, so we working out the kinks. We'll figure out another way to do it. But I had to just jump right in here and give y'all the game real quick.
Before you know it, you blink and a couple of years later, you don't recognize yourself. A couple of years later, you don't have that self-worth anymore. And so how do you make sure in those moments you stay true to your self-worth and don't settle? Because I think we end up lowering.
You have to, that's the part that she's not recognizing. You will settle. She said, knowing your self-worth and don't settle, you will settle. Oh, you gonna settle. I was curious to see how she gonna react to this, but settling is on the table.
The bar because of the lies. So I want to give you a list of lies that I think hold women back, and I'd love for you to help us think through them.
Okay.
So we've been told many times, if you're too independent, then you'll scare him off.
That is a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. No man cares. I said this before. That's a lie. No man cares so much about your career, especially if he is established. Now, if he's not established, he's probably actually going to be more attached to you because you got more money than him. It ain't going to scare him off. He going to be like, now, I'm not saying it can't cause problems either because some dudes get in their ego. So all things are true, but scaring him off, I don't think so. I think even for a man to get in his ego, he gonna be with you. I don't look at women making more money or anything as a bad thing, and I don't think most men do. I know some men might feel some type of way, but usually the stories that I've heard from that, these men were with these women already. So scaring him off was an option. But let me hear what they say.
Men want to feel needed. So I will say that men do want to feel needed. So if there's no space for him in your life, that could be a challenge. And they will find a girl that will allow them to feel needed. So
that could be true. I think that's a case-by-case basis. That is not all men, especially men who have what they have. I've dated women personally who made more money than me, and I've never felt the need to feel needed. Once again, I also have positioned myself to where I don't have to settle. I don't need her either. I think so. It was a cool spot. Honestly, I think it's a really good situation to be in, knowing that, hey, this person, especially if she's contributing to it. And I think I would say certain men might want to feel needed. But let's see what she got to say.
I believe in independence, but if there's no space for him, what is he gonna do? Like, a real man wants to feel like I have a role within your life. So, like, pretend that you can't open the jar. Like, oh baby, can you get that at the top of the shelf? Like, just give him that moment, right? Like, find a way that he could feel good that he's showing up for you. And I think if there's no space for a guy to do that, he's gonna find the woman that's gonna fulfill that need.
I mean, once again, maybe my mindset is been taken back. I don't look at it like that. I mean, if a woman goes and she's grabbing cups out and doing this now, if she going to grab the trash, I might be like, that's when I'll step in like, hey, I got the trash. But if a woman's taking the initiative to clean up and cook and find a way around and do certain things, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. Like, I don't got no problem with that. But maybe like I said, that's a subjective thing. It's not all men.
But how do you then reconcile that advice with being fake? So saying to your partner, I can't open the jar, and being like the damsel in distress versus being honest.
Well, I don't think that's a big lie, right? Now, there's big lies like, oh, I'm pregnant, it's her baby. Okay, that's a big lie. I think if you could open the jar and you're just acting like a damsel in distress, that's okay. Like, we're all sometimes kind of acting, right? For a woman that's been married so many years, there were times when you were married, but you weren't unhappy.
That's interesting. That part is, I didn't expect this to take this turn. What does she mean by that?
You know, you didn't leave your marriage and you put on the show. And
okay. Okay. I don't want to dive too deep into that. I don't know if I agree. I mean, I don't know if that's different. What do you mean by you put on the show? Yeah, this wasn't supposed to take this turn, but I'm curious. You put on the show. What it sounds like to me is, even when she wasn't necessarily happy in the relationship, I'm trying to think, like, was it a situation specifically, or there was a moment in time, like, I don't like him at all. Like, this is not what I signed up for. And to me, that's a really, really big problem. That's a problem. And notice that she said married before. Hence, divorce, which means a marriage that you were acting in when you really weren't happy ultimately ended in divorce. I'm understanding that correctly?
Until you couldn't. And I think that happens more often than not. I think the problem with single people is they think marriage is Disney World.
No. I think, listen, if you have any meaningful relationship, you're going to bump heads from time to time. But, so I get the reference of Disney World, like it's just this fairy tale land, and it's not. But it also shouldn't be hell on earth. And that's what a lot of men and women go through. It also should not be hell on earth. It should not be dissatisfying. It should not be any of those things. It should be blissful. It should be.
So when they get into a relationship dynamic and it goes sour, they leave. Now, that could be their choice.
They should. What you talking about? Get out of there.
Right? But a lot of relationships that people admire, they have gone through peaks and valleys. And everybody only wants the celebration. They don't want it when it was low. So I don't think that's a bad thing. So if you have a man and you know he needs to feel needed in some way, just let him.
Okay. So what about financial? As a woman, you build your own financial independence.
When marriages were high, women didn't really have a lot of rights.
This is true.
You know, we couldn't get jobs. We couldn't get bank accounts. Your husband.
Are you feeling?
Here we go with another one of these ads, man. Y'all gonna cut it out with these ads. Hey, man, I'm trying. I'm just playing. I done got used to it. I'm curious on how some of these dudes do it on YouTube when they doing these reaction videos. How y'all get past that? You know what they probably doing? They paying for YouTube premium probably. That's probably what it is. No ads. I might have to do that. I might have to bite the bullet, man, and get past these ads. All right, let's bring it back. See what she's saying.
To get married in order to get out of your parents' house. Well, now you're a woman and you have your own money, right? So, which also means you're gonna tolerate less because now we have social media to give a track record. Like when When men were cheating before, you didn't have an Instagram story to go see where he was. You know, usually it was the funeral. The funeral is when you find out about the other family. It's like that's when your brothers and sisters that you didn't know about came to the funeral.
Look at the white lady. She like, I don't know nothing about that. You talking, that's black culture stuff, right? Oh.
But your mother knew the whole time because you just didn't talk about it and it wasn't in her face. But when women started to make more money, we were able to make more decisions and our tolerance of accepting bullshit with men got lower.
And rightfully so. That's a very true statement. Absolutely. When you're in position, just like a man, you're in position, you realize, hold on, I don't necessarily have to deal with you because I'm good over here. Like I can, and that 100%.
And I think I get the logic of a woman that makes a certain amount of money. Her logic is, I want to date a man that makes what I make or more because I make this. Where it gets disconnected is she doesn't understand the man that makes what she makes or more, what he wants.
Exactly. Exactly. Well put. Coming from Kendra G's mouth, who obviously has a dating show. I don't know much about her, but seems like she has some experience in this space because she's talking some of which I agree with, not everything. But exactly. You can't want the same thing. I guess you can, but you have to. Right? Let's see what she got to say.
And he may want someone that might potentially be younger or, you know, it's going to fall in line to his life. And if you're busy, he's busy, how do y'all come together?
I think it's less about being busy and more so because people do what they want. People make time for what they want to make time for. So that is, I don't think that's ever been a problem with two people that actually want to be together. We see it all the time. We see it in celebrities. We know they have very demanding lifestyles. The thing that we don't talk about a lot, and that's going to be another video, is the reason why divorce rates are so high. And even I'm going to play some stuff later on about a divorce lawyer going into detail about why relationships fail and why men should, or women, sign up for this. There's a lot of professional people in that space that are looking at it like, why even sign up for this? The statistics don't support it. The facts don't support it. Obviously, the heartache and everything that come with it don't support it. The financial burden and emotional burden that it can create, it doesn't support it.
Right? Like, how can we be a teammate if we're both building empires all across the world? You have the right to want what you want. Does it want you back? If it doesn't want you back, are you going to conform to be what he wants?
Question you got to ask yourself. But here's the kicker is coming.
You're not going to conform. Fair enough. That makes sense. Why would you conform and lower your standards? But then you also have to accept you won't get that man.
This is why a lot of women are bowing out these days. And I get it. I completely get it. This is why and to be fair, this is also why a lot of men are not committing because they don't have to. Just like a woman doesn't have to, a man doesn't have to. So a lot of people they're like, look, if I can still do what I want to do with multiple women, sleep with them, take them out, still have vacations, still do what I want to do in a woman's presence, and then change it up from time to time, or have a life partner, or whatever. Cool. My bad. But it's coming harder and harder to find that unique person for you. The more and more we talk about these discussions, and I think what has to happen in order for that to be achieved, is people are really going to have to start looking within themselves, understanding themselves, and realizing that relationships are unique. And some people have already understood this. This is why you see the weird couples, and you're like, man, they were made for each other. Exactly. We keep looking at these beautiful people, and I'm saying this, I never said this before. We keep looking at these beautiful people thinking that that's the best life ever, But when you look at some of these weird people and you look and say, they belong together, the difference that they have outside of the attractiveness is literally the fact that their relationship is unique to them. And that's why it works.
And be okay with it. Now, if you want the man, conform and be okay with that too. Like, you have a decision. I tell women, treat every guy like he's ugly. And they're like, what does that mean? Because if an ugly guy, you don't really care too much, right? If he calls you, who cares? He doesn't call you, you don't care. If he don't...
Fellas, this is some information for y'all right there. Look at what you just said. Treat every guy like he's an ugly guy. When he calls, you don't care. He texts you, you don't care. That's how they feel about you. Seriously, that's how they feel about you. And you running it down, you chasing it down. And these are the men that are just happy to be there. And she's getting to the point.
You know, he has to do the most to get your attention.
Exactly. Men like myself, or better, ain't doing all that, man. Everything that you're doing, I ain't got to do half of that. Trust me. Easy. I talk reckless. I speak my mind. I'm unapologetically myself. Anyways.
Because you're not really feeling him. What happens is you meet this dream guy and you break all your standards and now you're caught in it. I also hate situationships because situationships, what it does is it gives everything in the person who doesn't want the relationship's favor. Now, 9 times out of 10, it's the guy.
I spoke on this maybe a year ago about situationships. I'm telling you. I'm true to this. I ain't new to this. I'm telling y'all, I'm just here to give the game. I'm here to give you the message. All right? Do with it what you may. But once you understand the game, make sure you come back and you salute me. Most
men will sleep with you. If a man could sleep with you and never have to call you again, he is in heaven. He's in heaven. Like, this is great. I can sleep with you. I don't got to show up to your mama's birthday party or the retirement party. I can just have sex with you. I could call you in 2 weeks. You'll be available again. Oh, this is heaven.
All day. All day. All day.
Stop that, ladies. Stop making those exceptions for those men. And that's why they don't get it together, because they have no reason to.
Wrong. They keep saying get it together. What you fail to realize is we live in the real world. We live in a world where no matter how much access to this information that people have, we're going to run into people who don't care about that. They don't live in that space, that's not interested to them. So it's going to continue to happen. Ignorance. That's another topic for another show.
You know, the famous saying, why pay for the milk if the cow's free?
I might have to get that YouTube premium, man. I might have to bite the bullet on this. This is getting annoying. But we're going to deal with it until I go in and upgrade. I don't know how much the YouTube premium is. I'll look into it. If I'm going to keep doing stuff like this, I'll look into it. These ads are kicking my ass, man. I'm cool on the ads. Look at this one. They hit me with the long one this time. For real? Hey, man, I'm in the middle of a show. Oh, boy, I make myself laugh. Anyways, if you here, man, I appreciate you. I can't look at the chat. I don't see the chat. Like I said, this is my second time doing this, so we're going to figure out all the kinks and move forward. But if you like what you're seeing, man, you got something to say, leave it down, comment down. That always helps the show. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the business. Let's continue.
Of the guy, right? So sometimes I thought about this today because a lot of women say, but where are these men? Where are these men, right? And I'm like, men are everywhere. I got a challenge for every woman watching. Go outside, and today I want you to count how many men, period, you run into. For one full day, I bet you if you're outside in the world, it would be more than 100. Now, every man, he might have been an Uber driver, he might have been a doorman, he might have been the gardener, he might have been the Amazon delivery guy, and a woman will say, yeah, I ran across 100 men, but none of them were their option. They were.
But none of them were their option. I ran across all these men, but I don't want the Uber man. I don't want the mechanic. I don't want the guy that was staring me down when I was walking past on the street. Why would I want him? I don't want the guy behind the Beach Hut deli. I want the dude that play for the Kings.
These men were virtually invisible because she has her eye on one guy, right? Now, here's the harsh reality. What if you're invisible to that one guy?
And you probably are. And here's the thing. Even if you're not invisible, he got options. And he's experienced better options. And he knows he could do better at his leisure. And it's like, you don't see it. You see what you see. You want what you want because that's your perspective. Unbeknownst to you, for whatever reason, and it's really your fault, unfortunately, is you think just because you want him that automatically he gonna want you, because I got all these dudes. Yeah, but them dudes want you. You want me. That's the difference. And she want me. And she want me. And she take this off of me. I'm saying men that are in that situation have a lot of options. So of course he like, man, you seen the dude, he been king. A lot of attention online. Dude go out, don't say nothing. I mean, he going viral often. That's what he do. Tall, fits the aesthetic of what a lot of women want, damn near to the T. And you see it. I mean, he just be standing out there, just he don't even say nothing. Give me a number, which that's possible. But anyways, the man is the epitome of living how a man would love to live. A lot of men would love to be in that man's shoes because he ain't doing nothing. He get all these beautiful women number. He cracking them at his disposal. And women ain't gonna stop doing it. No matter how much they know other women want him, they're like, nah, I'm gonna see what I can do. It don't matter. And it never will.
What if you're invisible to the one guy that you want, that he could walk right by you and doesn't even blink an eye? So how much of your life do you want to waste waiting on a man who's not thinking about you?
That's a question you need to ask yourself. What'd you say?
Say not a second. I say not a second. I'm happy if I'm in a relationship. I'm happy if I'm single because I control happiness. A person doesn't give me happiness. I have to show up happy. So I'm just looking for people to add on. If they don't add on, let them go. Let them go as fast as you can. But
I agree with that. I feel like happiness, number one, happiness starts here. You should not be trying to find happiness externally. It should be internally, 100% sure.
But you have to have self-confidence and you have to be okay with being just with you if it comes down to that. And I think with women, there are a lot of great guys out there, but they might not fit your aesthetic.
Now, Dr. Orion Terabin literally said the same exact thing. Rapped a little different. Said the same exact thing. It's the truth though. Once again, you will have to settle. You may get the relationship that you want, but not the man you prefer.
Requirements. Like maybe he's not 6 feet. I have women that call my show, he has to be 6 feet. I'm like, okay, well right now your man's invisible. So I think 5'10" is taller than invisible.
I think you need to adjust your preferences and be hit with reality. Listen, just look at yourself and stop trying to model your life around all these other top tier women. It's not healthy. It's not helping. And there's a lot of good guys out here that are being overlooked, unfortunately. But she's explaining that.
Can I actually read you some stats that I pulled? This is fascinating. So 80% of women want to date a man over 6 foot when only 15% of men actually are.
Yeah.
So this is what a lot of women are doing. They're saying, you ain't 6 feet, boom. And it's ignorance, because the type of women that think that way don't do research. They don't watch any of these actual helpful podcasts. This is statistics. I'm really big on statistics these days about the numbers. And I think that's a very, very good one. Like, that's insane. 15% of men are actually 6 feet or above, which, look at the percentage that you keep lowering yourself, let alone all the other things. So that means that all the men that you want come from this, and then you got to find him attractive. And it's another clip that went viral saying the same exact thing, right? And he got to like you back. You're going to be unhappy, or you'll be happy bowing out of the game. Or you settle. That's it. You choose. Ball is in your court. Let's continue, because she brought up some other facts that I saw that I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
I also have another stat that to be as appealing as the average 5'10" man, if you're 5'9", you have to make an extra $40,000 per year to make up for that 1 inch in height. If you're 5'4" guy, you have to earn an extra $229,000 a year to be considered equal as a 6 foot man.
All right, I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna bring it back here. I'm gonna bring it back to me. Listen here. It's pretty much over with. The days where, let me get this off the screen. The days where people are living in reality are far behind us. But this is why shows like mine, that show, and shows or channels like Soft White Underbelly or Sadia Khan, or I mean, there's a slew of them that I personally have done research on. Dr. Orion Terabin, another great one. It's bringing the guesswork out and bringing the statistics in to where we can literally, we've done research on why these things are happening. These people are going to marriage counseling and it's still ending in divorce and this, that, and the third. And you start to realize, okay, there's something clearly broken. And so talking about it is bringing awareness to the issues that we are having when it comes to relationships. And this is a lot talking about men and women, but even the divorce lawyer was talking about even same sex. They're having the same issue. So it's everybody. All right, everybody's included in this. There is a problem. So that's why when people look at this, oh, I don't want to do this. Why y'all need to do this? It's like, it's not a pissing match, and it's not men and women combating against each other. It's reality checking each other so we can have progress. And in order to do that, we have to have these hard discussions that may be uncomfortable, because now a lot of people are forced to actually swallow their pride and face their reality. Instead of hitting weed or drinking to try to drown out reality and the problems of life, you have to face it head on. That's the only way you can be able to get past any of this discomfort. And I want to touch on one topic before I get out of here. And that's I call it, I'm gonna put it in here. It's the art of active listening. And to me, the problem with why things are the way they are is because nobody's paying attention. Nobody's actually listening. A lot of people listen to respond, which means they have this thought, this voice in their head as you're talking. So they're not even trying to understand where you're coming from. They ain't trying to really digest what you're saying to then say, okay, let me regurgitate what you just said to make sure I understand what you're saying clear. Now, okay, I think I understand. Let me try to put it, even though whether I agree or not, I do understand. That's a healthy way to communicate. And I say that to say, just by looking at online, and that's part of the game, because we live in reality, right? Social media, this is how it works, and you deal with so many people who are clearly showing their ignorance. It's embarrassing. But hey, whatever. It's the life we live. So I don't expect everybody to be perfect. Nobody is. But the common thing is most people, even in 2025, do not do research, nor do they actively listen, and nor do they try to actually come from a space when they have a opinion about something where they can pull a resource where they heard it at. Meaning they've done research, they read it in an article, they saw it in a podcast, and this is, whether it be opinion based or not, they have no way to support their argument. It's just based off what they're saying. Going back to the Bible, lean not on your own understanding. I encourage y'all to go out there and do your research with these topics. Don't take my word for value, but that's why I'm bringing in these clips to say, look, this isn't just my thinking and things that I say, oh, I think this is what it is, and I think people should. This is factual information rooted in statistics more often than not, even if the outcome is still a level of opinion based off of statistics, but it's an argument that could be compelling because it can be supported with facts and at least some type of reference point. So anyways, do yourself a favor, man. Let's grow together. Let's be better together. The whole mission with this, as I said, is to help men be better men and make women and help women be more logical and aware of what's going on, as well as men. And together, we can create, hopefully, better, healthier, long, sustaining, successful relationships. Whatever that may mean for you. Anyways, as a single man, I'm still trying to figure it out. But I think the more and more we start this conversation, is better. I'm starting to realize I'm okay single though. I don't need that. I'm good. Needing that is one thing, but I'm good where I'm at in my life. I have access to women. I'm not ever going to settle. So that's out. And if I end up being single for the rest of my life, I'm okay with that. I'm kind of like that lower half that's like, look, I done got a level of success. I'm not going back. That's not an option for me. And so anyways, you got to figure out what is best for you. Some people are content in these relationships. They need them, and there's so much information I'm going to bring to y'all. I'm so excited. My mind is going a million miles an hour. Anyways, as always, man, I appreciate y'all time. Anybody that's watching the rebroadcast, still leave the comments. I do go back, I do read the comments, and I will bring it up and talk about it in later shows. Also, just subscribe to the show, helps the channel grow. And, if y'all want to see this be bigger, let's go big. You can always follow me on Instagram as well, rakifjahmad, right there on the screen. That's why I'll take some of these clips and post them. And this is where I usually have some of those conversations is in the comments and, the reacting to the things that I might say. I got a TikTok as well. I might throw that up, but it's the same thing. It's the Jahmad Show. So if you want to find me on TikTok, just look up the Jahmad Show. Clips are there as well. Anyways, hey man, I hope y'all have a great day. It's 11:38 in California, so I'm about to grab my coffee, start my day. Friday, man, enjoy this beautiful day. Hopefully it's beautiful wherever you are. Either way, we're going to do it next time, man. As always, love. Peace.